So let me start with this functional design document for member registration. Here you can see for each functional design document you will able to see related name. So this API is for web application member registration. XP API means experience API. PAPI means process API and SAPI means system API. Okay, and version 1. Okay, so here you will get who created this document and like it's an initial draft or reviewed one, that detail you will get. Here we have document future scope, so at this moment we don't have any future scope, so this one is empty. Now here we have high level description of this functional requirement. So this API will do customer registration. So whatever API document we have right now, this API will do customer registration. Okay, so what will be business scenario? This API will use to do customer registration. Front end will get all detail from customer and will call this API to store customer information in SFDC. SFDC means Salesforce. Okay, so front end will take all the request from customer. They will call our this API and this API will store information. This API will not store information in SFDC. This API will call process API. Process API will call system API and that system API will store this information in Salesforce. Okay, so here you can see process will start. This API will call post member PAPI. PAPI means process API. So from this experience API we will call process API and then that process API will get response and that response will be sent back to front end system. Okay, so this one is our flow diagram and here we have very simple flow. XP API generally we will not have complex flow. XP API will generally call process API, get response from there and send back to front end system or whatever. Yes, no, API led connectivity architecture is not mandatory, but it's again part of best practice. Okay, so there are many client they follow only 2 layer. There are many client they follow single layer also, and there are many client they follow all the 3 layer. Okay, again that as I told, that is best practice, that is not any rule. Yeah, okay, so I have worked for few project where we have only XP API and system API and all business logic we are applying in experience layer only. We don't have any process layer. Since they had some limited number of code, they don't want to invest too much money on on license and all. So what they did, they removed one layer, that is process layer, and all the business logic they kept inside experience layer. Okay, so in this way they saved resource, but there will be some problem for reusability. Okay, so code reusability will be a bit less in that particular project. Okay, no, security will not create any problem there. Only thing will be whatever layer we are dividing, whatever microservice architecture we are following, if your project is keep increasing, then it's very good, you should follow microservice architecture. Divide your application as much as smaller as you can. So what will happen, you can reuse your functionality. Okay, and there are many other advantage we have if we follow 3 layer or if we follow microservice architecture. In a small project it will not create any big impact, but slowly when your project keep increasing, you will able to see difference advantage of that following all the 3 layer and following all this microservice architecture. Okay, functional design document can be part of developer also or can be provided by architect team also. Okay, so for my first project, for like half project we got all the functional design document. Since till that point, like what they did, they design architect, they created functional design document, everything. Okay, then in second phase of project they don't had any functional design document. They took requirement from client and they ask us, like they took KT with us and they asked like a developer to develop that functional design document. But we were developing technical design document for every API what we were developing. Technical design document must be developed by developer. Functional design document sometime like it can be developed by architect or it can be developed by developer. A customer need all the document, na? Like high level, functional, technical, all testing. Like sometimes they used to take test evidence also. Okay, all document like you need to hand over to client. Now another thing, due to this agile approach, now they are like not going to this functional design document, technical design document. Everything they used to keep on Jira only. It's not for every project, but there are still many projects they don't follow functional design document, technical design document, high level document, and then next Jira story. Everything they put on Jira story, you need to complete Jira story. Everything you comment there only, whatever requirement diagram, everything you paste there only. Okay, sorry, big MNC, yeah, they follow everything: functional design document, technical design document, high level document, test evidence. They follow everything. Company like Accenture, Deloitte, then other big MNC, they are like equally focused on document plus development. But if you go, actually that is not dependent on like company, that depends on client, how much budget client have, like they what all standards they want to follow. That generally depends on client. Since if you are going to develop functional design document, technical design document, then obviously you need some effort, you need like some time. Okay, so are they ready to like pay for that time? Then yeah, obviously you should go. And actually these things, like initially this thing will look like this, why we are wasting time here, but on long run this whatever things like we are following API LED architecture, then documentation and all, that gives some advantage on long run. Yes, sir. Yeah, technical, as I told now, that depend on company, that depend on client. Like you can't predict now what all document will be there, in which project you are going to work. That depend on company and client. Okay. Okay, so this one is flow diagram. Here, like experience layer, we don't apply any business logic, so simply calling process API, get response and send to front end. So we have very simple flow diagram. If you come in sequence diagram, so here you can see front end getting request from customer. Front end will call our process, experience API. This API we are going to develop, and this API will call process API. Process API will send response back. We will, like this experience API, send response back to front end. Okay, so here you can see this front end will be active from this point to this point. This XP API will be active from this point to this point, and this process API will be active from this point to this point. So this is sequence, like for what interval of time which API is like processing. Okay, so in sequence diagram generally we define that part. Okay, if there will be parallel call, then we have to handle in different way. Like if we need to call one more API, one more process API, then after this call we will call one more process API. Once we will get response, then we will send back to front end. But in this scenario we have only one call. That multiple call scenario also we will have, so you will see that sequence diagram at that moment. Here you will get API detail, what will be version of your API, what will be resource, what will be method, objective of this API. So this all thing we'll use to create our YAML file. Okay, so this all things are API detail. Okay, next we have input. Okay, input we have header. So generally when we create any API, we can pass input in multiple places, either in URI parameter, in query parameter, in header, or in body. So we have 4 places where we can pass input. Okay, so first one is our header. So we will have 2 header. So front end will pass us transaction ID and they will pass us channel. Channel means they are sending this request from mobile application or web application. All these fields are mandatory. Mandatory means they must need to pass this field, otherwise they will get bad request. So we will design our YAML in such a way, if they will not pass that field, then we will send bad request. Type, both for both this header element, our data type is string. Okay, yes, yes. No, channel, like, yeah, so channel actually we want to pass in process layer. Okay, this thing like we can define in our like experience layer also we can define. Since the experience layer we know from which channel we have created this experience layer, or we can ask front end also you pass this header. Okay, for generally we will use this for login purpose. Okay, once front end will pass this channel, we'll keep that channel detail in login. So we will come to know during log, we will come to know which that particular request came from, that particular log is for web application or mobile application. Okay, so whatever actually header is, okay, let me define header. So header generally contain our metadata. Okay, metadata about our data. Okay, means data about our data. So this will tell like, okay, so generally header contains metadata, body contain our actual data for processing. Okay, and then query parameter contain all the filter condition, and URI parameter contains unique identifier. Okay, so whenever we call any API, okay, so whenever we design any API, we need to pass, like we need to design our API in such a way, if customer want to pass any unique identifier, then we should define URI parameter for customer. If they want to pass some filter condition, then we should define query parameter for them. If they want to pass some data for processing, then we should define body. And if they want to pass some metadata, then we should define that metadata in a header. Okay, so these two are metadata. This data we are not going to use in our actual processing. Okay, so that's why we took inside header. Then you can see in body we have processing data which we will use to create resource. Here you can see type again, field name, mandatory yes or no. Mandatory yes means the customer, like calling system, must need to pass this data, otherwise he will get bad request. And here you can see field rule. Here I defined label. So this label means this first name, last name, metal status, title, these all element are primary element of this particular object. And this second label means this is child element of this identity. Inside identity we have this child element, password, phone number, phone country, email. If you want to see here, then you can see here. Inside identity we have password, phone country, phone number, email. So identity on level 1 with this, okay, all are level 1, this 4 are label 2. Again address will be label 1. Actually there is some problem with indentation. So after preferred name, identity will be there. Inside identity we have this 4 element. Then after identity we have address on label 1, and inside address we have this child element. So here also you can see address has this child element, so label is 2. Okay, hope everyone clear with this. So we have one sample example what all data we are going to pass in body. Okay, where okay, okay, country child of address, yes. Okay, then label will be 3. Okay, now we have output. So for output we have body, data type will be application JSON, and output message for okay record payment, this is fine. So here also you can see we will get message, code, date, member ID and success. Okay, so inside, sorry, not date, data, we will get member ID, so it's, that's why it's on 1 and this one is on 2. Here you can see data type and data mandatory or not. So here we have example message, code, data. Inside data we have member ID and success. So success you can see, okay, this should be boolean, this should not be string. Okay, this should be boolean. So Tejasvi, can you make a note of this? Yeah, so this should be boolean and success will be true or false. And for other string, integer, data is object, since data contain child element, so data is object, member ID string, success should be boolean. Okay, now as I told, whatever focus you put on success scenario, same like you should consider error scenario also on same focus. Okay, so here we have error scenario, like if there will be bad request, then what response we are going to send. Okay, so we are going to send in this message format. Okay, so here error is on label 1 and error has 3 child element on label 2. Okay, and we'll send proper error message, so customer or calling system will come to know what error they are getting due to which region. So we will define 400, we will define 401. Okay, 401 for unauthorized access, 400 for bad request, 404 page not found, resource not found, and then we will define 500 for critical error. We have multiple error scenario, but we are going to define 4 scenario. Okay, so everyone clear with this functional design document? So we defined everything here. What will be resource name, what will be method name, what will be input means request, what will be header, what will be response, what will be error details. So everything we defined inside this functional design document. So let me know if anyone has any doubt on this functional design document. Yes. Okay, so here you can see, like in body means request body, we have multiple fields. So these all are fields name. Okay, type will be, data type will be application JSON. So in body we will pass JSON payload. JSON payload have multiple element name will be first name, last name, material status. Field rule means this is child element or subchild. Okay, if it is child, then label will be 1. Here you can see password is on label 2, means this password is child of this identity. Same phone number, phone phone country, phone number, email, all these child of this identity. Same way address is on label 1, but country to this on label 2, means these all are child element of address. So you can see in example. So for password, no sorry, for identity, as we discussed, like we have 4 child, so these 4 are child. Same way for address, we have 5 child, so you can see 5 child for address. Is it clear now? Okay, fine. So like same way we have all the functional design document for all API. Okay, so I'm not going to explain now for all functional design documents. Now from next day we will start working on API one by one. So we'll take one functional document and we'll discuss and we'll do RAML part. Okay, so I'm just giving a high level overview how our functional design document looks like. Technical design document we are not going to create. After this functional design document we'll move to Jira Story. Okay, so let me go to Jira Story. So in Jira Story generally what will happen, okay, let me discuss everything one by one. Now today someone asked what is Jira ticketing tool and all, so yeah, we will discuss all those things now. Okay, yes, field rule. Okay, since you have to define that structure now. Okay, anyhow if you are not getting now then it's okay, like when we will create RAML I will explain that part again. So this field rule means like it's on label 1 or label 2. If label 2, then that is child of this label 1. Then how, like if I will, okay, yeah, no, when means, so when I will pass this document to you, then how you will come to know which one is parent and which one is child. Okay, yes, correct. So what is time right now? Okay, I think it will take 15 minutes more. So like we'll complete this part. So next day we'll start RAML. So we can go for next 15 minutes. Okay.